the New Marketing for Your Small Business podcast. Delivering the latest opportunities in marketing to help your small business grow and prosper in a digital world.
Welcome to the New Marketing for Your Small Business podcast. I am your host, Luke Porter from Moving Tree Media, and this is the podcast where we share quick and actionable tips to help your small business thrive in this ever-changing digital world. Starting with our last episode, we made the switch to shorter, focused episode, and we're currently in a series on LinkedIn strategies. So in our last episode, we talked about how to optimize your LinkedIn profile. Today, I'm going to focus on what happens after you've set up your profile. What kind of content is valuable, how often you should post, and why you should be engaging and commenting on other people's posts. Let's get right into it. First up, let's talk about posting valuable content. So the content that you share on LinkedIn, that's your chance to show what you can do, to demonstrate your experience, showcase your knowledge, but most important of all, to provide value. So what does valuable content really mean? You'll see in a lot of my other content, I talk about the big three things. Your content either needs to educate someone, inspire them, or entertain them. On LinkedIn, that educational content tends to outperform everything else. That kind of valuable content solves a problem or answers a question. So really think about the challenges that your clients or the people in your industry are facing and how you can specifically help them. You could talk about recent trends. You can offer tips and tricks. You could give resources like a how-to guide or a report or a video. Just remember, you're not selling something. What you're trying to do here is teach them something, give them some value. When you focus on other people, then those people will come to you. They'll come to see you as an expert in your field. They'll want to connect with you. And ultimately, that leads people to doing business with you. So what specific types of content perform well on LinkedIn? The first thing I'm going to talk about is video. The LinkedIn algorithm changed as of this recording about 6 months ago. And the priority now is not just on video, but on vertical video. Portrait mode on your phone, TikTok style video. The algorithm pushes those videos above all other types of content, even other kinds of video. So if you can get yourself in front of the camera and record just these 1-minute clips, these little nuggets of information, 3 things people didn't know about your business, the story of why you started your business, something that happened to you on the way to work today, really anything that you can provide that value to people in about 1 minute or less. The second top performing type of post would be your standard horizontal videos. These don't have to be less than a minute, but really no one's going to watch anything more than 3 or 4 minutes these days. Attention spans are kind of short. So with that format, you could take the time to delve a little bit deeper into a topic. 3 minutes doesn't sound like much, but if you really take the time to plan out your content ahead of time, and you take these bigger topics and you break them down into smaller ones and break those down into even smaller ones, you'll find it's easy to grab something that you can cover well in about 3 minutes or less. I'll do another episode later down the line about how to film yourself, but basically don't overthink it. Your phone is probably going to be good enough for just about anything that you need to be filming for these short videos. I would say just get a cheap phone tripod from Amazon with a ring light. They're less than $30. That should be everything you need to get started with. Now, if you don't want to do video, the next most popular type of content on LinkedIn is long-form content. It is articles. It is basically blog posts inside of LinkedIn. And when you go to post a LinkedIn update, right away at the top, you'll see, do you want to do a post or do you want to write an article? Now, you could write a long post, and long posts do well, but there is a limit to how long those posts can be. If you're going to do more than a couple of paragraphs, I would write an article. And the LinkedIn algorithm even likes to mix in articles with posts and videos. So it's that other main type of content that the LinkedIn algorithm has to pull from. So a lot of my clients do find more success with LinkedIn articles than with long LinkedIn posts. And inside of an article, you actually get more options for formatting than a post. You can make text bold, you can add headings, you can do bullet points and numbers, you can put photos inside the article, so you do get a lot more options. The fourth most popular type of post on LinkedIn is a selfie. Now, you might not like taking selfies. Personally, I hate taking them, But this was another one of those algorithm changes from 6 months ago where the LinkedIn algorithm prioritizes selfies over other types of images. So I would say make the effort to take more selfies, even if you don't like them, and then tie it to the text. Take the selfie in a specific location and make the text about that location. And I know that's one of the things people don't like about selfies. It makes them feel like they're putting themselves in the spotlight, their face in the spotlight. So take a selfie at a specific location and tie that to whatever you are writing about. And then the fifth and final type of content that I want to dive into in this episode is polls. Polls are a great way to engage with your audience. People love voting in polls, love seeing how other people are voting, getting into the comments and kind of having some discourse in there about the polls. It's a great way to make a quick piece of content that's easy for people to interact with and encourages comments. I've mentioned this in some of my other contents, but I'm just going to throw it out here again. Comments are extremely important on LinkedIn, and the latest estimates put the value of a comment. As far as how many people the algorithm shows your content to, the value of one comment now is equal to about 15 likes. So these types of posts that encourage comments just get more eyes on you and your content. And there's other types of posts we can get into in a different episode, like slide decks, but basically don't be afraid to experiment with different types of posts to see what works best for you and for your audience. So the next question, this is one I get asked all the time. How often should you post? And if you had asked me this 5 years ago, I would have said, as much as you possibly can, 10 times a day. But I've come to realize since then that when I give that advice, people burn out very quickly. Because it takes a lot of time and effort to post on LinkedIn multiple times a day. And you've got a business to run, you've got a family, you have all these other things going on in your life. So now when people ask how often they should post, I tell them as much as you can comfortably fit into your life. For some people, that actually might be every day. For other people, that might only be every other week, and that's okay. I would say the key is consistency. Don't leave this 5-month gap where you haven't posted anything, because that's not going to do you any favors either. Ideally, aim for twice a week. If you can post twice a week, you will be doing better than 99% of LinkedIn users. Your content is going to get seen by your audience over and over again, and as long as you're posting good content, you are going to look like a helpful person, you're going to look like the expert in your field, and you're going to look like someone that people want to do business with. So, the last topic in this podcast, let's talk about the importance of being active and commenting on other people's posts. LinkedIn is not just a platform for you to post something and walk away. The algorithm has changed, and the algorithm rewards people who are more social. It's a social network. So the more that you comment on other people's posts, the more the algorithm will show your posts to more people. So I encourage my clients to spend 10 minutes a day just scrolling down their LinkedIn feed, liking some people's posts, and leaving thoughtful comments. Don't just leave like a smiley face emoji. When you actually add to the conversation, it shows that you're paying attention and that you really care. This helps build relationships with your peers, and it expands your visibility into their networks as well. Because when you actually leave a thoughtful comment, oftentimes the LinkedIn algorithm will post that as a whole separate thing in someone else's feed. Like, hey, Rick commented this on Bob's post. So not only is it a great way in general to get more eyes on your content and to meet new people, but it's just a great way to stay informed about the industry trends and to learn from other people. So really don't underestimate the power of this. So to sum up this episode in our LinkedIn series, post valuable content. That is one of the biggest keys to building your LinkedIn presence. Experiment with different types of posts, like articles, vertical videos, to see what works best for your audience. Stay consistent with your posting schedule. Find what you can fit in your life and stick with it. Try for twice a week if you can. And finally, don't just post and leave. Engage with others by commenting on their stuff. LinkedIn is a community, and the more that you contribute, Not only the more will you get out of it personally, but the more the LinkedIn algorithm will reward you. So that's it for today's episode of the New Marketing for Your Small Business. If you found these tips helpful, please subscribe, leave a review, share this episode with others, and visit our Facebook page, New Marketing for Your Small Business. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.